Network with your host, Sean Myrie. This episode is Who is Big U? You've been hearing about him a lot lately, especially off of the platform No Jumper, hosted by Adam22 and Vlad Interviews. Well, Big U historically is associated with the Rolling 60s from Compton for over 30 years, right? Very influential, and he claimed in the last couple of years he turned his life around and he started, you know, he turned away from crime. Started a football league or a couple of, of charity companies, right? He's associated with the rapper that passed away, Nipsey Hussle. He's associated with several other West Coast, I guess, celebrities or rappers. And he had a show, correct me if I'm wrong, called The Check In. Check in means that if you're not from LA, you're not from California, certain parts, you have to check in with the locals, meaning kind of like a extortion, right? Right? Kind of like extortion. So, Big U right now, recently, in the recent times, been on some platforms talking, and many people in what I would say the underworld, they steer away from media, especially social media. But he went that way, and recently he's been incarcerated for several crimes, but especially the M for M, right? That's still being sorted out. But Big U, who represents the Rolling 60s, or he claimed he used to be representing them, he's in big trouble with a whole bunch of other people. They've been indicted, right? From the FBI, Big U, Brick Baby, and Loose Cannon. Um, they those are the most popular figures that was arrested in the roundup, right? What happened about right now last month, middle last somewhere around March, right? Um, Big U now, a lot of people respect him, but this is what it is. After certain times have passed, the RICO, right? As long as you associate yourself with an organization that is associated with crime, stereotypically, a gang, the Bloods, the Crips, the GDs, whoever it is, right? As long as you associate yourself with a gang, you're guilty to them. They don't care if you just claim it because that's my hood or that's my people. What makes it worse if they see you around the individual that they're trying to indict or put behind bars, even calling the person's name, mentioning the person's name, and mentioning your association, what is linked to that individual, will put you in the spotlight. So, respect to everybody. Everyone's proven you have to go to court, right? Innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty. But they're already putting it down there. You're guilty with association. So as long as you associate yourself with a gang, you are guilty. That's what they're saying. As long as you associate yourself with a gang, you are guilty. Big U represents the Rolling 60s. They're saying that he operated a mafia type organization for years and using charities and all this other stuff to try to hide behind. Is that true? Is it true? Well, he has done a lot of charity. And what's hanging over him is a M of a young individual, a football player who was friends with his son. That's what I'm hearing, right? Rumor is that individual that passed away, this is the rumor, allegedly, he was homosexual and his son was in a relationship with that individual. That's why his demise, that came to his demise. This is just rumor, right? So Big U, big gangster. The people, sorry for the people who's associated, bless up Big Chill like Loose Cannon and Brick Baby. But if you claim a color, right? I know a lot of people want to fight for their freedom, but if you claim a gang in 2025 and they're under investigation, you're gone. Yeah, you're gone. I know about the RICO. I studied the law of our law and American law really good. I watched a lot of documentaries on the mafia, which is organized crime. Organized crime, right? What have a lot of so-called legit business. If they could shake organized crime and they don't associate with colors, what do you think they will do to you in the Crips or the Bloods? So what they're going off of is colors and association and social media, right? Yeah, RICO's a serious thing. They're going off from social media. That's what makes it worse. I always said real gangsters are not on social media. And if you were real or whatever, and you go on social media, it's different. You're not that gangster anymore. You open yourself to investigation, and that's fact. You're opening yourself to investigations. So, to me, and it's the social media thing what spotlighted. If you're doing illegal stuff, which I've heard some people have this type of, it's common sense. Don't go on social media. If you're doing illegal stuff, you should not be on social media. And if you're talking about stuff, what is illegal, that person's trying to put you into something, aka Adam 22, right? Who sanctions everything. Whack 100's on there. They're just highlighting it, right? So, um, to me, people say you can't blame Adam 22. You can't blame Whack because they're just listening to these stories and they're asking questions. Yes, if you're not intelligent enough, sorry to say, to not answer these questions, right, then you kind of put yourself in that situation. hmm To me, there's a lot of fits. There's a lot of hip hop police. Big U should know better, or he doesn't care. There's a lot of hip hop police. He's a person who mentioned about the social media stuff, right? Hip hop police are people who work in the media and they work with law enforcement, and there's a lot of them. He said too much. Yeah, Whack knows. Like, Whack, you could call him a fed, you could call him anything, right? But there takes two to do the mix up, right? Whack could be next. He can be next. The only difference I'll give him this, he's a little bit more smarter, it seems to me, than Big U, right? He has a couple investments. He has Adam 22 talking for him. A lot of things. He's smart. So by having Adam 22, the white guy, that kind of gives him some power, like it or not, right? Adam 22 is Jewish. Remember that, right? So he has a lot of lawyers. Wack is smart by associating himself with Adam 22. But the conclusion to this is guilty by association, just that charge. Forget all the other stuff. Throw that all off the table. If you associate yourself just with a gang and you say you're part of the Rolling 60s, you're done. You're finished. If you had any relationships with Big U on top of it, you're finished, right? I don't want to see no one get locked up, but unless Big U is innocent, right? Then you could say something else. Let me read this, Big Joe. Once the Crips get out of the county and go upstate, then the Bloods gonna get busted. That's a good one, Big Chill. I like what you're saying. You say once they go upstate, get out of Las Vegas or wherever, and they go to where basically home and the Bloods are there who Wack always talks about, then more people are going to get busted. I noticed on Adam 22's platform, he's recruited different sets of Crips, right? It's the 40s, I'm hearing now. So he went from one set to another set. And you are right. They're not done. I've been saying this for a long time. They're not finished. But like I'm saying, if you associate yourself with a group, especially a group what wears a rag or a color, and it doesn't help, you're on social media talking, you- they're gonna go after you. If they see you in videos with the individual, the main individual, they're gonna go after you. If you mention the man's name, right or wrong, they're gonna go after you, right? So to me, this is just my opinion. The best thing, and I'm gonna say this, to support anybody who's incarcerated for this RICO is to be quiet because obviously they're using social media to investigate. So that make everybody else could be talking, I could be talking, but the people who are close to him, which they're watching even more, the people who are real close, the inner circle, should all be quiet in a certain way. A lot of things you cannot say because you just make the situation worse. That's just my opinion, right? If my people they were in trouble right now, the last thing I'm gonna do is speak on social media. If it was televised even on the local news and people saw my cousin or somebody I know locked up and they knew it was my cousin, the last thing I'm gonna be doing is going on social media because they're gonna be checking up what I'm saying and putting the pieces to the puzzle, right? Like besides gangsters, you should know law enforcement, lawyers, and people who are in law enforcement, and get the advice from them what will happen, what they do, not just from people from the street. Get it actually from a lawyer and law enforcement. And I guarantee, I know no one would want me to be talking about anything, any case, even if it was online and I'm supposed to be close to them. They're not going to want to say that. It could be different other places, but I know in Toronto, I don't know if it's the same anywhere else. If you are close to somebody, the, you don't want to be talking about the case because you're gonna be an enemy of them, because for sure the hip hop police, I know this for years, they are watching. They are watching 100%. And this Rico stuff, like you hear about Little Dirk, you hear about all these other individuals, and even Young Thug. Yeah, it seems like he's off, but he lost his freedom. Any little thing he does, he's locked in. He's gone right back, basically almost for life. It's the money that took him out of jail. He had to give up a lot of money that took him out of prison. Little Dirk is gonna have to give up a lot of money to get out of his case. All these black individuals, they're gonna have to give up either a lot of money or a lot of people, right? Look, the mafia guys gave up a lot of their own people. You see, a lot of these guys served some of the time and they're out talking on podcasts, right? Like Franzese or Francesi, I don't know how you pronounce his name. Big Mafia ex boss. He has a podcast. He talks to ex mobsters, law enforcement all the time. He's living good more than ever. He was a boss. He saw a lot of dirt. Who did he have to flip on? He claims he didn't. But most of these guys, like in the mafia, they rat out their people for freedom. And these guys were on a big international or nationwide organization that has history over 100 years. And look what happened to them. So Bloods and Crips or these other little gangs, you guys are nothing for the government to eat up, right? Reality, no one wants to be locked up. People talk about rats and all that. Who really wants to do time for another man? There's rumor Big U's threatening people or has some influence outside of prison, and he is trying to make his case better. But come on, you were a gang leader for years, and you claim that you left that life. FBI's found a lot of stuff on you, Big U. They found a lot of stuff on you. How the FBI works, they investigate you for years. They're not coming to you just, oh, we suspect something just because we saw it on social media. They've been seeing all this action probably over 2 years, if not more. They've been watching. They'll make you eat, 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 and then they come after you. Look at Puffy. Puffy's been around for over 30 years, and he's been doing illegal stuff. They got Puff Daddy for doing similar things, if not more, right? So Big U's no different. Big U's not even in the industry like that. And look, they got Big U. They got the Rolling 60s. You got Donald Trump, who's in America now, who wants to prove something by locking up a lot of criminals. So by getting someone like Big U and other individuals, he is putting across his message that don't play with me while I'm the president, right? So it's straight up. It's people are will be in their feelings. Some people will be in their feelings. But if you associate, I'll say it again, if you associate yourself with criminal activity, right, you're going to go to jail. Especially with this gang stuff. See the picture of Puff here and Beard. All white. Yeah, these guys dyed their stuff. Yeah, he got more stress too. These guys dyed their stuff. They got a lot of stress. But as long as you say I'm a Crip or I'm a Blood and stuff from a set, and they investigate whoever runs that organization and they take that person down, you are finished. Even Snoop or any of these guys. That's why Snoop Dogg and certain guys, they really are careful what they say. They will never go on a platform and talk about street politics. Never. Certain guys know better. They'll never go on any platform like Adam 22 and talk about street politics. That's just a no-no. When that became popular, that's when everything was finished for any people. Adam 22 spotlighted, amplified it, influenced it, you know, promoted it. And then other people think, yo, I'm going to go on here and talk about this guy and talk about that guy, bring up dirt, like I'm saying, bring up feelings. Then people want to fight, people want to threaten people, right? The main thing, what I'm saying here, guilty by association. Forget all the other stuff they're talking about. As long as they seen pictures with you and the person and you guys are talking, and then doesn't help going on a platform and talking about things, extorting, you win it with him. You win it. Even if you're not the main man. That's the FBI. That's the law. I don't make the law. I don't agree with everything, all the laws, what they put out there, but that's the law, right? That's how it is. And money talks, like you said, bullshit walks. If you have the money, you should be out. You should be out. If you're not innocent, you should be out in nothing's perfect, but soon. But soon, like I'm saying, if if I'm associating myself with a gang, right? And the leader gets caught for something really big, most likely they're going to be coming for me because of my association. Even if I didn't do anything, as long as I am associating with him, doing any little business, speaking his name, it's not good. Right? We're in the six, Toronto. It'll happen here too. If you associate with somebody who's really under the rate of being watched, right? They're going to look into you. If you have a platform where you bring in a lot of guys who have records, right? They're gonna speak to you. I had people before send me messages like, "Yo, those people you interviewed or that individual. that guy is, he's really gangster, or he's bad, or these guys have records and blah blah blah, right? But I never talk about their politics. I didn't care about that. I just cared about their art, their music. But if I spoke about their politics or made them speak on that on the platform, and then they done something out there what's crazy, guaranteed they would be looking at our platform and they would be investigating what this man has mentioned and put the pieces to the puzzle. So just because it's social media and it looks like it's free just to go speak on there, don't get tricked and trapped. Don't threaten people. Don't say people's government names, or the government will be coming for you, right? That's what will be happening. This is your host, Sean Myrie of the Down to Earth Network, Down to Earth Podcast. Who is Big U? Big U is known. You could just Google him up. He has a lot of history, like I said, in the Crips, Rolling 60 Crips. He has history in the streets. They saying that you have to. He popularized the check-in situation. He popularized that to check in. I think he has a podcast or some platform he was calling the check in. That's what screwed him up even more. He stopped that, you notice. But yeah, so it doesn't help that this man comes from a background of gang history. I don't know how much time he served in prison, but they were coming for him. Sometime they're going to come for him. They're coming for all of these guys. Anybody who's associated with gangs, especially if it's a color and it's promoted out there and people are on platforms talking. They're coming for everybody. So my best advice, if you are part of these organizations, stop going on these platforms. Trust me. I was raised in Chichaway. When people pull up and see that, well, this rookie cop get yeah, man. But it's true. Correct me if I'm wrong, Big Chill. If in Toronto your brethren gets locked up and he was maybe kind of famous out there, would he want you to be speaking about his case? No, I don't think so. But I'm out. Bless up.